Council, I'll say that again, I'll call to order a special meeting of the Rancho Mirage City Council, December 29, 2015. Can we have a roll call, please, Cindy?
Councilmember Kite?
Here.
Councilmember Smotrich? Here. Councilmember Townsend?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Weil?
Here.
And Mayor Hobart?
Here. First thing I'd like to do is to acknowledge the presence of my mother-in-law, Mary Alice Hartsock, who is with us today from St. George, Utah. Nice to have you here, Mary. Okay. We have one request for non-agenda public comments. Michael Harrington.
Hello, I'm Michael Harrington, and I'm a resident of Rancho Mirage. And in the past, I had spoken to this body about the issue of public awareness of human trafficking and the anti-human trafficking campaigns that the Sheriff's Task Force does. And again, if you don't recall, my interest is over the last 3 years, I've done on and off some volunteer work with one of the nonprofits, actually two of the nonprofits that are part of the task force. And I stopped that a year ago. So since 2012, but then I stopped about a year ago. So last year, there was a lot of discussion at CVAG, and I mentioned to you as well and some other city councils about increasing the public awareness of human trafficking. And in the last 30 days, I was really privileged to have an opportunity to meet with some of the members of the task force in Riverside with a lieutenant. And of course, I told them, well, they asked, you know, they set parameters what I could and couldn't talk about. And there's not much I can talk about. But my walk away from it was that I'm just so impressed with what a great job the sheriff does, the task force does. And I think the irony is that they can't talk about what they do or even much of anything about their resources or, you know, anything perpetrators could use. At least that's my takeaway from this. And so it's sad because we don't really get to see, maybe some of you get to see because of your positions, but really we don't get to see all that they do, all the great work they do. And I'm so impressed with everything they do. I couldn't say enough about it. But as a resident here of Rancho Mirage, I wanted to bring this to the attention of my own city council that, you know, budgets are always limited in everything that we do. But we have the chance over at CVAG, some of your members do, to, you know, ask and try to get more money spent on some of the things that Sheriff's does, the task force does. And I'm just asking that you look into that further, maybe meet with the local sheriffs here more, make it a point, an agenda item to actually have meetings about the anti-human trafficking, the campaigns. There's probably a lot they would tell you, they can only tell you confidentially, but the more you're aware of what they do, I think you'll see a need to try to spend more money or increase the budget, get the task force here, I would say more full-time. I think some of the people that work with the nonprofits kind of know that we could spend more money and get more done here locally in our valley. I know Rancho Mirage in particular, we think, well, this doesn't happen here, but it does. There are predators trolling the internet trying to get kids out of their homes into the sex trades, for example. It happens all the time, 14 and 15-year-old girls. And that can happen anywhere. Also, we're connected here in the valley, so what happens in Coachella affects what happens in Rancho Mirage or Palm Springs. We're not isolated, we're not an island. Even though each city has its own identity, we're connected in many other ways. So it does matter, you know, what the sheriff's does maybe in Coachella or along the I-10 corridor affects what happens here to us. And CVAG is a good place to utilize, I believe, to start that dialogue and maybe look at making anti-human trafficking a goal for the next year, as well as getting a larger budget and maybe larger facilities here. And again, I'm strained at what I can and can't say because I think even that's confidential, but I think some of it, some of you know or don't know, or some of us know, but So please look into that. I encourage you to look into that. And, we really need a larger human trafficking or anti-human trafficking effort here, more training facilities, larger sheriff's facilities right here in the valley. We would really all benefit by that. Rancho Mirage would, and I hope you would become the lead in that. I always think of Rancho Mirage as a shining city in the valley, to quote Ronald Reagan a little bit. Again, well, thank you. My name is Michael Harrington. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Harrington. Is there anybody else in the audience who'd like to speak on a matter not on today's agenda? We have one item on the agenda. This is a special meeting, and it is to consider and approve the arguments regarding CV Link ballot measures 1, 2, 3, and 4, which were prepared by me, Mayor G. Dana Hobart, for publication and distribution pursuant to the California Elections Code on behalf of the Rancho Mirage City Council. I take it that everyone has read the measures and the ballot arguments that are proposed by me to accompany the ballots when they are issued to the electorate in April or March, whenever they first go out. Does anybody have any questions about the arguments? Is there anybody in the audience that would like to discuss this subject in any way? Seeing none, can we have a motion then to approve the arguments as indicated and stated in today's staff report?
So moved. Second.
I did, yeah. Our fearless city attorney is unsure as to whether or not I'd asked for public comment. I thought I had. I'll do it again. Does anybody in the audience like to speak to this subject? Seeing none, we will close it again. It's good to be safe, though, Steve. I'm a believer of that. Okay. We have a motion now to approve all 4 measures in one vote. All arguments, yes, the measures have been passed already. All arguments with one vote. Please vote. The motion carries unanimously. Anybody who wishes to continue with this meeting can stay here, but for the rest of us, the meeting is now adjourned.